Welcome to Girl Guiding Lancashire East's special Go Wild flight to the Galapagos Islands. Our flight today will take us halfway around the world to the Pacific Ocean islands of the Galapagos. If you look out of the window, you can just see our baggage being loaded onto our flight. We will arrive in the Galapagos Islands at Baltria Airport on the island of Santa Cruz. So settle down and enjoy the flight. I hope you've all enjoyed our long flight. We're now on our final approach into Baltria Airport. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and hold tight while we land. Here we are, safely on board our own private ship, looking across the Pacific Ocean. You'll see in the distance an extinct volcano. Yes, this island you can see here. And shortly the ship is going to weigh anchor and we'll be off across on our exciting journey to see some of the wildlife of the Galapagos Islands. Oh look, there's a bird. What sort of bird do you think it is? Let's see if you can get a better look at it. Here we are. It's a frigate bird flying to the island. Here we are, just getting off our boat. Oh, careful as you go. The rock's very, very slippy. And there go our two inflatable dinghies for taking us to and from our boat. Here's our second observation of wildlife. Two sea lions sat basking on the rock. And look, there's another one and another. And can you see the pup? It's looking for some milk. And what's this in the undergrowth? It's a strange sort of lizard. In fact, it's a land iguana. Sat on the rock is a blue-footed booby. You can clearly see its blue feet. And here in the foreshore is a sea lion mother with her quite large pup. And here, in amongst the trees, preening itself, is a red-footed booby. The trees are not dead, they're dormant. It's the end of a long, hot summer. And here is a third booby. This time it's a NASCAR booby. And yes, there's more sea lions, just looking at themselves and posing for the camera. Aren't I handsome? The Galapagos Island is home to Darwin's finches, which helped him develop the theory of evolution. Here's a bright orange one. And here's a different type of finch. This sea lion mother has spent the last 4 days out at sea hunting for fish. She's now come back, tired out, and her pup is finally getting some milk. And look here, perched on the rock is a pelican. The pelican is looking to see if it can find any fish. Can you see its big long beak? And here on the side, on the rocks, are some bright orange crabs. Again, they're waiting for the tide to come in to bring them some more food. And here, just by our boardwalk, is a lizard. This bright red-throated female lizard is busy looking to see where her next meal is coming from. And here's our ship at anchor in Porto Ayora on Santa Cruz Island. We've come back to the island to visit the Charles Darwin Research Station, home to many, many giant tortoises, like these two here. They don't look very big from where we're standing, but a little later we'll get up close to them and see just how big they actually are.
So they're smaller because they're females, not because they're younger?
Yeah.
There are 10 different species of giant tortoise on the Galapagos Islands, but it's not just tortoises that we have here. Wait until you see this chap. Here we have another land iguana, just walking around at the station looking for something to eat. Here we are back at the fish market in Port Ayora. Look who's here to help them. It's a sea lion. And of course, there's also, just over there at the back, 2 pelicans and another sea lion. They're all waiting for scraps from the fishmongers. The giant tortoises don't just live in the Charles Darwin Centre. Here, out in the fields, are several tortoises enjoying a wallow in some mud. To get some idea of how big they are, can you see the people? These giant tortoises are easily 3 feet at the height of their shell. Let's just sit back and watch them move around and enjoy themselves. Now, let's get back to the sea and see what's going on there. Here you can see a baby sea lion trying out its newfound freedom at being able to swim. Just watch it go. And here's a mother sea lion with her pup right behind her, surrounded by some sea iguanas. These are really strange chaps. They're just like the land iguanas, except they can swim underwater and collect their food from the seabed. Here's some sea iguanas warming themselves up in the sun on the rocks. If you watch carefully, you may see some of them sneeze out salt that they've absorbed from swimming underwater. It really is quite funny. And what's this? Barrel on a post? An open door? Whatever can it be? You're right, it's a post office. From when they didn't have post offices, you just dropped your letter off there and somebody would come along and they would try to deliver it if they could. Back on the beach, more sea lions and sea iguanas. Out at sea, the male sea lion patrols his beach, looking after all of his wives laid out on the beach and their pups. And look, here's a Galapagos hawk, just waiting to see if it can find any prey. Look amongst the rocks. Can you see these two birds? These are albatrosses. This is a mating pair, and they are starting their ritual courtship. And here's another mating pair, even closer together. Let's just sit and watch them.
It's a little bit bigger than female, but I don't know what it's male or female in this couple here. Did you see better? What it's bigger, that's a male.
On our journey around the Galapagos, we have seen many beautifully calm and quiet bays, but this isn't always the case. Here, at the southernmost point of the Galapagos, the breakers break against the shore, forcing water up through blowholes. Between here and the Antarctic, 3,000 miles, there is absolutely no other land. Here, on the quieter and calmer side of the island, is a lagoon, and feeding in the lagoon are some pink flamingos. Can you see the one in the front standing on one leg? I wish you bet you could balance like that. These bright pink birds are feeding on small little animals that live in the mud. Can you see their funny shaped beak? And of course, on the seashore are more of our orange crabs. Just watch this one move across to ward off the intruder. Well, our journey is nearly over now around the Galapagos, and so let's return to our boat. But what's this? A problem! We can't get back on our boat because this sea lion has taken our landing place. And now, as we return our way back to Santa Cruz Island to pick up our flight home, we can take one last look at our beautiful sea and sky before arriving back at Puerto Ayora, ready to disembark and get on our flight home.